guess it's 100%. You can unplug it. I know. I'm acting like a retard too. I just woke up. Although I'm not as sleepy and drowsy as normal, I'm also finding it very strange because this is not lost on me. This is the II, which is the formula for relationships, as you can see there. As seen here, identify your terms. Don't let your target audience be lost in your bullshit. Try to oversimplify it. It's on there. See, the exact same letters and formula right there, which actually predated the book. This was on here for so many more years than this book I had. You'd be like, no, that's not. You didn't put it on there until you got the book. That is actually not even true at all. That had already been there. Not sure why that was chosen or exactly what led up to that being the choice, because I just don't know exactly. But as you can see, and I have shown, dun dun dun.
Light.
Good morning.
Bands showing up.
Come on.
But it's fuzzy, so we'll use it. It's fuzzier depending on the distance between. But what you've done,
If that is in fact what you are.
show that you can have a meditator focus on where the light is going through, as if the concentrated meditative mind is doing something similar to figuring out which slit the light is going through. And you get
He
some
said
change
slit.
in from the alternating black and white bands to
It's difficult at times because if you use your camera and a screen recorder, it could jumble you up. I mean, that's not too difficult to see. I'm also very much, I get excited when I get into something that I find fascinating. This is not normally one of those things, or at least I think I've had the brakes pumped by higher forces than myself that must understand me. I think I'm receiving a blessing at the very moment I wake up. I'm able to capture. You don't remember your dreams? I guess no. No, actually, this is my dreams. This is the moment of where your dreams become realized, because you step out of them. You step out of the dream. The first step you take when you're awake and you're actually using your full body, and you stand and you wake, as it were. Everybody in their different areas of work is capturing and relaying back different situations. Whoever was in the next office to Dean. Now, the reason why I have focused on Dean Radin was because the area of his research and my own intersected. Even to the point of where in the dream world I went to a meeting and met with him. I've never met him in person. I've not spoken with him. There's no correspondence, as it were. It was one of those very lucid dreams where you don't miss the details. I wrote it down. I have graphs. I have a graph. Being as he has suggested and proven also, it's very important in science that you're able to get reproducible results. You're able to come up with methods that are reproducible so that other people can draw these same conclusions. This is important to us in the material science world because we're using it, we're standardizing our practices and observational movements. Everyone is. I listened to an interview yesterday with someone, and they were asking, they're like, well, why did it take us 100 years? You know, if y'all knew that observation was creating the weird effect of collapsing the waveform, which is what is handed down to people today, we listen to the original stories of the science involved, and we do not believe that he said differently. He said, no, they were doing experiments on these things immediately. And the guy that had asked the initial question was like, well, why did it take this long? And he told him that no, in fact, they did begin working on those facts. Niels Bohr, all those guys, the titans of fucking early physics. Einstein doesn't like spooky distance activity. Action at a distance freaked him out. He didn't understand what the fuck. I'm waking up to it, and due to either a zeal or a willingness to pump the brakes on myself, or to either define the area of which I am personally doing work and would like my ability to do it, I wake out of the dream into a situation very similar, and I can share it now. I'd like to do it the right way before I move on and continue even my schooling, because I actually think it's so hard baked into reality, the program, that we're programming and generating realities at the moment. We're looking at them with our eyes, which doesn't seem to do anything. Now I'll share you. You see this right here? This is a piece of, I think it's like asbestos, maybe. Don't be alarmed. You don't have to grind and breathe the dust in. This came from a military installation that used to be behind my other home. We used to live at a different place. My father and I did. Behind our house was a lot of the United States Army had Germans that were captured from the war. They brought them over to America, and this was one of the places that they kept the prisoners, and they were doing different research and studies. We weren't waterboarding them or cutting open their heads to see what they could do with their brain exposed. None of that type of stuff. But there was still science going on. Science was going on. Now I want to draw a distinction to you, to what I see. Like, you see this prayer right here. This is a person in the prayerful pose. this is the deity that is being prayed to in an overlay. This is a demonstration. The overlay. You can see on there it's written with the marker, I to the I minus I dash I. Relationships. You see the symbol? It is green. I will read it now. Improves and enhances people connections. It says people connections, attracts the best reflection in a partner, helps heal and balance broken relationships and relationships in turmoil, personal, love, family, friends, cultural, political, work, neighbors, can be used in pale pink to help open damaged relationships. So this is indicating that this and the color that it is in is also a communicating dynamic. There are books with the same symbols that are not in colors. This book actually happens to have them in colors. It is my favorite one of these hyperspace healing books. Those symbols there. And in case I have not shared yet, the source of this is the Montauk Project. More specifically, Stuart Swerdlow was put into a chair, was tasked with finding out what is the language that the gray aliens and other what we call space aliens, or what we maybe finding ourselves interacting with. We're not going into, are they from space? We're not going into anything. These are other than human intelligences that are interacting with human beings on the physical earth plane. Alright. So they wanted to know what is their language that they're using. They're telepathic. So they put the image in your mind using some form of think about it and imagine it that can be communicated, that we call telepathy, is earlier than and deeper than language, because it is what they say it's shapes, colors, and tones. I'm not sure exactly how the tone comes into play, but you can clearly see that these are letters that are in different colors. So the different colors does indicate a different form of usage. In reading this, it does suggest that the pale pink would be how this term for relationship, the I minus I or I dash I, can interact with the other realms, and it indicates what they are. You would be considered I, a lowercase I symbol. Could be an uppercase too. I'm just trying to boil down the most what is in my hand equation and how to work it. Do work. It do work. So let's go back. Let's return back to simplicity for a second. What was already being exposed as something simple and not complicated, a matter of not complicated. simplicity, basic beyond the need of even communicating, which is that is just to say that don't take it for granted. Let's slow down and look at these things and clearly identify each of their pieces before we move on and fuck it all up. Wow. You just opened the book to a random spot? Yeah, last night I did. So I see that this is a slave. I will read it again. It says, hold on. The black artist, Patrick Reason, yes, his last name's Reason, made an engraving, and that's what this is. It is in 1835. And then it says, white female abolitionists identified strongly with seeing the chained female slave. Now, it doesn't appear that that's a female. It appears that it's a male, but I don't know if it matters or not. It's just suggesting that the abolitionists were white women, because they are the ones that is being referred to. Not that there weren't white men, but it is saying specifically white abolitionist women were moved, but when they saw the image of the person in chains, they wanted to do something about it. That makes sense. It's sensible. The person who made the engraving is a male. However, it doesn't say if they were white or black, unless it does, and I missed it. No, it does. Hold on, it does. The black artist. It says the black artist. Okay, I almost missed that. I read it, but I see why I'm being prompted to slow the fuck down. It's so simple, a caveman could do it. Have we heard that before? I don't want to miss an opportunity to also do the Bible, because that one blew my fucking mind. I usually like to randomly open the Bible to some place. It's something I've done a lot of. I've done it a lot. It's one of those things you can do with a book that doesn't really work with every single book. But if you put it to a test and you said, let me take War and Peace, and I will also just randomly open and read the book where my finger points to it. This has been done, and it is shown that this can be also used in a divinatory method to, as it were, speak for deity. Like, would you like a word from God? Divination. Yes, that's the context. Okay. So in this context, I open the Bible and I put my finger, and now we'll read where it had taken me, because this has got to be the most incredible fucking breakthrough, random access fucking shit. Did I mess it up and move it? It's possible. I did change the page, I fucked it up. But it's the passage in the Bible, and it says, does the clay complain to the potter about how it is formed, or does the frame complain to the framer? It suggests that the reader and participator is the creator. That's what the Bible verse was saying. And it's like you are in the position and you are given the authority and ability to create and craft. You are not a subject, you are an object, is what the verse was saying. It's one of the most incredible, inspiring verses of the Bible that you can fucking read. Next to some of the more Jesus-y things of that nature.